Welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking our source material and diving straight into a completely unseen high-stakes battleground. Believe it or not, every single day there is a silent war being waged right behind your drywall and underneath your home's foundation. To really understand the mechanics of this conflict, we're going to use Greenfield, Wisconsin as our ultimate case study. Because when it comes to the clash between harsh, unforgiving nature and residential engineering, this city is absolutely on the front lines.
Okay, let's jump right in with a pretty shocking number. Greater than 10. So what does this actually mean? Well, this represents the grains of water hardness per gallon in Greenfield. While you're just living your life, sleeping, watching TV, cooking dinner, this highly mineralized water is silently attacking your home's plumbing from the inside out. It's destroying water heaters, it's ruining fixtures, and honestly, it sets the perfect stage for the broader environmental conflict we're about to unpack.
But hard water, that's really just the beginning. Local geography and those famously harsh Wisconsin winters are waging a multi-front war on your pipes. First up, you have extreme freeze-thaw cycles that literally expand and contract the earth, practically tearing pipes apart. Then, there's the heavy clay soil common throughout Milwaukee County. This clay acts exactly like a giant sponge. It shifts violently with moisture changes, putting just an immense amount of pressure on underground lines. And top all of that off with aging combined sewer systems that handle both storm and wastewater. During heavy rains, that is a massive vulnerability.
So, what happens when you combine all these environmental threats? Well, it builds into some very real, very messy disasters for homeowners. This gauntlet is particularly devastating for properties built back between the 1950s and 1970s. Think of those classic ranch homes you see in neighborhoods near Edgerton Avenue or South 76th Street. A lot of these houses still have their original galvanized steel pipes. Decades of that hard water and shifting clay mean these systems are quite literally on their last legs, just corroding from the inside out. When nature inevitably wins these battles, the fallout is severe.
It's wild, but we can actually trace these massive, super expensive home disasters directly back to those specific environmental villains we just talked about. Think about burst pipes. A sudden freeze-thaw cycle hits, lines in unheated crawlspaces give out, and boom, flooded walls. Or how about sewer backups? That shifting clay soil cracks old lines, tree roots sneak right in, and the next thing you know, you've got sewage backing up through your basement floor drains. And finally, that relentless hard water accelerates mineral buildup so aggressively that standard water heaters out in Greenfield are completely dying in just 8 to 12 years. So here's the absolutely crucial part. Fighting back against these elements isn't just about turning a wrench or swinging a hammer and hoping for the best. Properly defending a home's infrastructure requires some serious civil and home engineering. We are talking about a discipline built entirely on fluid dynamics, precise geometry, and super strict state codes designed to keep those environmental threats safely at bay.
Now you might be thinking piping is super simple. Just connect point A to point B as quickly and compactly as possible, right? But ask yourself this. If you're running a horizontal drain pipe, can you just slap a 90-degree elbow joint on it to make a sharp corner? I mean, it seems completely logical if you're trying to save space in a tight basement.
Actually, no way. And this brilliantly illustrates why professional plumbers live by something called the 135-degree rule. If you use a sharp 90-degree bend on a horizontal line, you create severe turbulence in the water. It becomes an immediate, guaranteed clog point for waste. Instead, the rules of plumbing dictate using two 45-degree fittings to create a much gentler 135-degree turn. This keeps the velocity of the water up and prevents blockages. In older homes where outdated DIY plumbing often violates this rule, residents just face constant recurring clogs.
Okay, let's take it a step further. Imagine you're in a really crowded 1960s basement. You've got a furnace, structural posts, existing utilities everywhere, and you need to navigate a rigid pipe cleanly right around them. How do you do it? You definitely can't just guess the pipe length, cut it, and hope it lines up without leaking.
Enter the 1.414 rule. This is an absolute mathematical staple of the trade. When you need to create a 45-degree offset, you measure the distance you need to shift the pipe, and then you multiply that exact distance by 1.414. Boom! That gives you the precise diagonal run length required for your cut. This math prevents measurement errors that cause structural stress, hidden leaks, and wasted material. It proves that proper plumbing is truly a high-stakes geometry game, and failing the math test here literally means flooding your basement.
All right, so we've got the science and the math established. Now let's pull back the curtain on the actual economics of defending your home's hidden systems. What is the real financial reality of maintaining this crucial infrastructure, especially when emergencies inevitably strike in the dead of a harsh Wisconsin winter?
To really understand the financial side, we have to look at the transparent pricing structure of local pros. In Greenfield,
Licensed plumbers typically charge anywhere between $100 and $200 per hour, with an average residential service call hovering right around $150. You can also expect a diagnostic or trip fee of $75 to $150. That just covers their travel time and their professional assessment. Plus, keep in mind that materials, municipal permit fees, and the cost to dispose of your old fixtures, those are separate. Knowing this baseline is super helpful so you recognize honest, transparent pricing when you're caught with a burst pipe at 2 in the morning.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Looking at those hourly rates, it is incredibly tempting to just do it yourself. But listen, you really need to draw a hard line here. A $20 DIY fix like swapping out a worn toilet flapper or a sink aerator is totally fine. It's low risk, high reward. But attempting major jobs, things like water supply lines, water heater installs, or drain work, that can literally lead to disaster. Making a mistake here can result in thousands of dollars in flood and mold damage. And even worse, doing unpermitted plumbing work can violate local codes and completely void your homeowner's insurance when you try to file a claim. No thank you.
So when nature is attacking your house and DIY is absolutely off the table, who do you actually call? Let's take a look at how local experts act as the ultimate defense against these environmental threats. Specifically, we're going to look at Elite Plumbing Milwaukee, a service that operates right there on the front lines in Greenfield and the surrounding areas. What exactly does a professional arsenal look like in this hidden war? First off, a 24/7 emergency dispatch. Because, let's be real, pipes do not care if it's a holiday weekend. They arrive in fully stocked trucks carrying the specific parts these homes need most, aiming to fix the issue in just one visit to stop the water damage fast. They ensure strict compliance with Wisconsin's plumbing codes, pulling the right permits to protect your home's value. And crucially, they back their defense with written warranties on both parts and labor. It's a highly organized system built for permanent fixes, not just temporary tape jobs.
So we've covered a lot today. We've seen exactly how freeze-thaw cycles, shifting clay, and mineral-heavy water wage a completely silent war on your home. We've seen the geometry and the professional expertise required to actually fight back. So tonight, take a walk around your house. Listen to your pipes. Is your home's infrastructure truly prepared to survive the next freeze? Or is there a ticking time bomb waiting right behind your drywall? It is a hidden war, and ignoring it might just be the most expensive mistake you ever make. Thanks for exploring the source material with us.